After breaking a 6-game losing streak, the Southern Ohio Copperheads take the road to face the Hamilton Joes, who just lost their 6-game win streak but are still sitting atop the Great Lakes Summer Collegiate League South. Good evening and welcome to the broadcast tent. My name's Sedric Granger. I'm joined by Tim Hanna. And Tim, this is a matchup where the Copperheads, they were able to come on and win in that first game at Hamilton, but the second game when they played against the Hamilton Joes in Southern Ohio's at Bob Wren, things did not go as well, Tim. So how can the Copperheads be able to pull off this win and be able to take the advantage in the series?
Well, Sedric, first off, if they play like they played last night, this team is going to win a lot of games here in the upcoming future. This team came out yesterday. The pitching performance was solid, limited those errors, and ultimately was able to take advantages of the other team's errors. So they were able to capitalize on those things. Didn't get as many base hits as they maybe would have liked, but that's something that they can improve on as they continue today. So today, it'll be about getting on base and then ultimately getting those guys around. Cody Williams will be on the mound today for the Copperheads. He's had a couple really solid starts this year, so if he can continue to do what he's been doing in his last couple of games, Copperheads are going to have a lot of success.
Copperheads, their lineup today, as they are going to be batting first, it'll be Trey Rucker, who will be batting leadoff here for the Copperheads, followed by Gunnar Aldridge batting second, Kyle Ratliff batting third, Bam Thomas, the DH, batting cleanup, Maverick Stallings batting fifth, Josh Steidel sixth, Mitch Class seventh, and rounding it out with Diego Ortiz and Jordan Long. And for the defensive alignment, I'll pass it over to you, Tim, for the Hamilton Joes.
Josh Leisure on the mound today for the Hamilton Joes, a guy the Copperheads are familiar with. The last time we were down here in the second game of the year, 3 innings pitched, no runs, no hits, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts. So he'll be looking to continue what he started in that last game. Behind the dish, Evan Ulrich, Nick Wimmers, and Walker Bridges on the corner. Max Palmieri and Sam Lowe holding down the middle of that infield. Tristan Melvin, Grant Miller, and Casey Fink in the outfield.
So we should have an exciting matchup coming for you with the Hamilton Joes. As I said in the intro, they are sitting atop the GLSCL South with a 9-6 record. They ended up just falling for the first time in 7 games. This time to the, make that 9-5 on the year, and they fell to the Xenia Scouts yesterday 4-3 after giving up 2 runs in the 8th inning. That ended up ending their win streak. Copperheads also ended a streak, but for the better as they ended their losing streak as the first pitch to Trey Rucker. There's a swing and miss for strike number 1. With this broadcast setup, we kind of have a little bit of a blind spot down the first base line, so we will try to do our best. We also don't have our usual scoreboard as second pitch there is taken in for a ball, so the count is 1-1 to Trey Rucker. So we'll treat this a little bit like radio. We'll try to be as descriptive as possible in certain cases as there's the pitch. Inside for a strike, the count is 1-2 to Trey Rucker. Rucker, after having a day off yesterday, he's batting .313, driven in 5 RBIs for the man out of Arizona State.
And 10 walks this year, one of the numbers that really sticks out to me. Trey Rucker, a guy that knows how to get on base percentage, flirting in the 500s.
So Josh Leisure gets Trey Rucker there as that's strike number 3. So Rucker goes down on strike, something you haven't seen a lot of. That's only his 3rd strikeout of the season. But Leisure, he really is going to be a tough pitcher for the Copperheads to deal with. His ERA is just 2.25, 7 strikeouts to 3 walks. Did play a game against the Copperheads here at Foundation Field, and he didn't allow a single run in 3 innings pitched. Gunnar Aldridge is now up for the Copperheads, and he fouls the first pitch backwards for strike number 1.
Sedric, one of the cool things sitting down here is we get a little bit better of a view of the strike zone than we do in other games.
The 0-1 is inside, right inside the zone, so it's 0-2, and I do like the perspective a lot, Tim. As we see the 0-2 pitch on its way, this time it is inside for ball number 1. 1-2 count with Kyle Ratliff on deck. Gunnar Aldridge is up. The 1-2 pitch on its way, skips across the ground on 1 hop, and it'll be 2-2.
Gunnar Aldridge only 2 for 8 on the year against the Hamilton Joes. Try to look to bring that average up a little bit as he sends that one down the first baseline.
Yep, that is a hit down the first baseline. He's going for second base. Can Aldridge make it in time? He will. Standing double for Gunnar Aldridge. So Copperheads get a little bit cooking here in Hamilton as Aldridge is on second, and that brings on Kyle Ratliff. And his last game against the Grand Lake Mariners, he went 1 for 5, drove in 1 RBI. And against the Joes this season, he is 3 for 8 and had a pair of doubles here at Foundation Field. The make doubles as we went to McDonald's earlier in that game. So it's interesting to see the doubles come back into play as the first pitch is delivered too low for ball number 1 to Kyle Ratliff with 1 runner on, top of the first inning. Copperheads and Joes are scoreless.
Good to see Gunnar Aldridge able to get on base. He's been in a bit of a slump, so hopefully he can use this game to kind of break out of that.
Kyle Ratliff drives that one out to left field. The catch is made by Tristan Melvin. So that's 2 down for the Copperheads. And that'll bring on Ashton Bam Thomas, batting .239 on the year, driven in 4 RBIs, and had his best game of the season in the last one, Tim.
He played fantastic last night, seeing the ball really well, able to get that bat, the barrel of that bat, onto the ball. Made a lot of noise last night.
Lazier sets, looks back at Aldridge. Delivers the pitch to Bam Thomas, skips across the ground for ball number 1.
Ulrich, another one of those catchers that's just elite at keeping that ball in front of him, not allowing pass balls. Something we've seen as this season has kind of moved on and progressed a little bit is not as many pass balls as we did maybe that first week.
1-0 pitch. Down low, below the strike zone for ball number 2. And to your point, Tim, we saw pass balls play a big factor yesterday as Silva did a great job not allowing too many pass balls. But on the other hand, the Mariners, they struggled with it. And a couple of those wild pitches, pass balls, allowed the Copperheads to be able to take advantage and take that win. As the 2-0 pitch is delivered inside for a strike. So the count is 2-1 with the game tied at 0 in the top of the first inning here at Foundation Field. Copperheads coming into this matchup with a 5-8 record, 3-7 in their last 10. Had a bad 6-game losing streak, but broke it yesterday. And I know it feels like a weight lifted off their shoulders. And just seeing the attitudes of everybody is just great as that one is chopped to second. And it's delivered in time for out number 3. So the Copperheads go down with 1 runner left on base. Score is 0-0, and you're listening to Southern Ohio Copperheads Baseball on YouTube. Welcome back to Foundation Field as we're getting ready to start the bottom of the first inning. The Copperheads weren't able to put up anything in the first, so the score is still 0-0 against the Hamilton Joes. Copperheads trying to pull off big upset here. They were able to upset the number 2 team, and we'll see if they can against the number 1 team. And it's really almost too early to call it upsets necessarily because we've seen a lot of upward mobility, and I feel the Copperheads are a team that does have a lot of upward mobility in these upcoming weeks.
The Hamilton Joes yesterday fell to the Xenia Scouts who have the worst record in the league. So really, as we've said before, Sedric, night in and night out, it's anybody's game. It's who comes to play, and it's really who's able to execute on those things that happen in that game, whether that be pitching, errors, situational hitting, things we talk about all the time. And it really comes down to who's able to execute. But the Copperheads in a really good position these next couple of days to move up the standings. Have that game tomorrow against the Cincinnati Steam, who have been playing well as of recent as well. And then next week, the doubleheader against Xenia and I believe Richmond Jazz as well. So lots of room for upward mobility in this next week.
Yeah, we'll see if the Copperheads can have the edge. Their defensive performance was really great yesterday as they had no errors on the day, which really made the difference in the game. It gave them the edge, and Copperheads, it'll be Cody Williams on the mound for the Copperheads, and he's made a couple of appearances this season, has an ERA of 13.5, struck out 2, walked 1, had a game against the Settlers where for the Copperheads almost nothing went right that day, but looking to right the wrongs here, put together a good performance, and keep the streak of really solid starting pitching going as he delivers the first pitch for a ball to Grant Miller of the Hamilton Joes. And second pitch is fouled backwards for strike number 1, so the count will be 1-1 to Grant Miller. Miller has a 378 average on the season, has driven in 13 RBIs, really impressive statistics for the Ball State man.
Miller 2 for 3 versus the Copperheads in the second game they played in Athens last week. So was able to get after those hitters and hitting 378 too, so you know that guy's able to put the barrel on the bat.
One of the players that might be considered for the All-Star game is that will be coming up on July 12th, and coaches will have to start submitting what players are going to make the All-Star game coming up, as we'll see the 1-2 pitch. Cody Williams sets, delivers, fouled backwards. So we'll do it again at 1-2. Hamilton Joes and Southern Ohio Copperheads tied at 0 here at Foundation Field on a very beautiful evening. It was pretty hot out in the afternoon. I was out at the amusement park for a little bit at Kings Island, and it was up there right under 90. Now it's starting to cool down a bit as the 1-2 pitch is in, and there for strike 3. Cody Williams gets Grant Miller.
Picking up right where they left off yesterday. Sedric, the Copperheads pitching staff, comes out firing. Strikeout on the first batter, and that's going to be critical for keeping them in this game. We know the Hamilton Joes can put runs up on the board, so trying to limit those and get quick outs is going to be huge.
Excellent start for Cody Williams, and now he'll face Nicholas Wimmers, who's batting threes all across the board, 333 average, 3 RBIs, and the first pitch was delivered for a ball. So we'll do it again, or we'll start again here at 1-0. Cody Williams sets, delivers the pitch outside, and that's ball number 2.
1 for 5 against the Copperheads this year, so Wimmers hitting a little bit under his average. Copperheads have been able to get to him in those 2 games.
Nicholas Wimmers from University of Nebraska-Lincoln takes the 2-0 pitch, fouls it off, and the count is 2-1 favor of Wimmers. Cody Williams done some great work out in the community. One of the players that was out reading to children at the library 2 days ago, as the Copperheads have done a great job with community events, and I've absolutely loved how kids have been able to come out and be able to hang out with the team as Cody Williams delivers a strike as Wimmers swung and missed there. Count is 2-2 with 1 out. Game tied at 0 here in Hamilton at the beautiful Foundation Field. And Tim, it's kind of a great feeling getting to call games here. You got all the fans of the Joes all around us as the 2-2 pitch is in, a swing and a miss, and he's got him. So that's 2 straight strikeouts for Cody Williams. Great start.
We're kind of among the people here, Sedric. We're sitting right next to the concession stand here at Foundation Field, and it's really cool to kind of be down here, see the community come out to support their Hamilton Joes. Hamilton Joes have quite a significant following, as do the Copperheads. So kind of a bit of a mirrored environment, seeing the people out walking around, talking to each other, enjoying a nice beverage, and watching some really good baseball.
Evan Ulrich fouled the first pitch from Cody Williams for strike number 1. Evan Ulrich 0 for 8 against the Copperheads on the season, so looking for that first hit. And he's hit very well against most other teams, but the Copperheads have had his numbers so far on the season. Second pitch was a ball, so we'll see 1-1 on the way from Cody Williams. Gets his sign from Josh Steidel, who's moved back from first base to catcher. The 1-1 on its way. And it's a deep drive to left field. Can Rucker get there? He will, and that's going to retire the side. So it's 3 runners up, 3 runners down. Great start for the Copperheads defensively. And when we come back, the Copperheads will grab the bats. You're listening to Southern Ohio Copperheads Baseball on YouTube. It's the top of the second here at Foundation Field. The game is scoreless through one inning here as the Copperheads, that will be due up. It'll be Maverick Stallings, Josh Steidel, Mitch Class, your 5, 6, 7 hitters for a Copperheads team trying to make it 2 straight wins, not only on the season, but 2 straight wins here at Foundation Field against the defending champion, Hamilton Joes, and current leaders of the GLSCL South. And there's a lot of action going on in the South that we'll be scoreboard watching. We see the Xenia Scouts up 9-1 over the Settlers is something that is definitely key to note. But here on the field, we have Maverick Stallings, who takes the first pitch in for a strike. So it'll be 0-1 for Maverick Stallings, one of the newest additions of this Copperhead squad. Hasn't gotten a chance against the Joes as he hits it to first base, grounder, and the first baseman, Nick Wimmer, steps on the bag for out number 1.
Solid hit ball there from Stallings, just not able to find the gap and get that one.
This will bring on Josh Steidel, who is having one of the best seasons for the Copperheads, batting .317, driven in 8 RBIs for the Jacksonville University man, and is 1-for-4 against the Joes this year. He took a game off for that home game the Copperheads had against the Joes, which the Joes dominated that day. It was a mercy rule. And Steidel, deep drive out to left field, and it goes into foul territory. So the count is 0-2 quick to Steidel.
Steidel seeing the ball really well. Recently, just kind of fell from that slump, but starting to work his way back into it now. Saw him play first base yesterday and did really well doing that.
Pop fly out to short. Catch is made for out number 2. So 2 runners up, 2 runners down, as the defense has been solid for both teams through 1.5 innings. And this will bring on Mitch Class, with the score still tied 0-0. Mitch Class coming back into the lineup after getting the day off last time. And against the Jazz, he ended up breaking out of his slump, getting his first hit in a couple of days. And it was great to be able to see what he was able to do. And went 1 for 5 against the Jazz, and is 0 for 2 against the Joes this season. Only played in the home game, which was a 12-2 loss for the Copperheads. Is pass ball, no runners on though, so no one will advance, as the count is 2-0 to Mitch Class. The 2-0 fouled off, so it'll be 2-1. For Mitch Class, and Class, one of his biggest strengths we've seen throughout the season, Tim, is him forcing high pitch counts on anybody that he's facing.
9 walks this year, knows how to work a pitch count. Already got it to 3-1 here, and we'll see if he can draw a walk. Even though he's a bigger guy, really knows how to work the zone.
Fouls off the 3-1, so the count is 3-2. Full count payoff pitch on the way, and almost sound like a broken record whenever Class is up, because he's always getting to that full count, which is great as you see the 3-2 pitch on its way in for strike number 3. And Josh Lazier, he's having himself a game right now. 2 strikeouts, and that retires the side for the Copperheads. So a lot of batters have been retired. Out of the 10 batters we've seen between the Copperheads and the Joes, 9 of them have been retired. And we'll go to the bottom of the second with the game still tied at 0. It's the bottom of the second inning here at Foundation Field, and for the Hamilton Joes, it'll be Clay Badalak, Max Palmieri, and Samuel Lowe due up in the inning. Your 4, 5, and 6 hitters for Hamilton. The defensive alignment for the Copperheads, were some switches made, and Tim, would you like to go over the Chad's defensive alignment?
Josh Steidel back behind the plate, as we mentioned. coming back down from first base. Did a really good job at first base last night, actually. First time getting some action down there. Mitch Class back at first base. Jordan Long on the opposite corner. Maverick Stallings and Gunnar Aldridge again in the middle. Outfield pretty much remains the same. Diego Ortiz does get the chance to get out there. He'll be with Trey Rucker and Kyle Ratliff.
Yep, nice to see Ortiz back in the lineup. As the first pitch here to Badalak, he drives it into left center field for a base hit. And it'll stay just a single as a leadoff hit gets the first hit of the day for the Joes. Looking to make it 7 of 8 in terms of victories and try to be the first GLSCL team to make it to 10 wins. We've gone through about every team has been played maybe between 12 and like 18 or 19 games so far this season. Nobody's gotten to 10 wins yet, Tim.
Yeah, most of the division stuck in that 7, 8, 9, and then a couple of the teams down at 4 or 5 wins. Copperheads are one of those teams. Go over quick standings here real quick. Hamilton Joes 9 and 5 is sitting in first place. Grand Lake Mariners 8 and 7, and the Licking County Settlers also at 8 and 7, both tied for second. Cincinnati Steam at 7 and 7. Richmond Jazz 7 and 8. Your Copperheads at 5 and 8, and the Xenia Scouts at 4 and 7. So still a lot of room, as we talked about in the pregame, for that upward mobility for a team like the Copperheads if they get hot this week.
Max Palmieri is the batter up for the Hamilton Joes, who are wearing their black jerseys, white pants, black batting helmets. Copperheads wearing their orange away jerseys, or they've worn them generally more on the away games. And pitches count is 2-1 as the 2-1 pitch is delivered in for a strike. So the count is 2-2 to Palmieri, who's looking for his first hit of the year. Only has had one at bat. So getting his chance in the lineup to try to make something happen for the Joes from Mainville, Ohio, and attends UC. 2-2 on its way. Swing and miss. And Cody Williams gets another strikeout, his third one of the day.
Absolutely dishing on the mound right now. That's 3 strikeouts today. Something that Coach Chase Harris is sitting in the dugout right now, just absolutely smiling. We saw a really high strikeout number from Daniel Walter last night, and hoping Cody Williams can settle in and do the same thing here.
Samuel Lowe's the next batter in as it's fouled high up into the air in Mitch Class's grasp. He makes the catch, and that is out number 2 for the Joes. Samuel Lowe goes down real quick on the foul out, and that'll bring on Walker Bridges, who is playing third base for the Hamilton Joes today. And Walker Bridges batting .280, driven in 7 RBIs. So he's one of those players that can make things happen.
2 for 8 against the Copperheads this season. So hitting right around his average rather, this season for the Copperheads.
Cody Williams, pickoff attempt there. Runner is safe. No pitch here. As the game is scoreless, 0-0, as it's been a pitcher duel so far. Leisure with 2 strikeouts. Cody Williams with the Copperheads with 3. Another pickoff attempt there, making sure to keep Clay Badalak honest. Badalak on the year is 3 for 3 against the Copperheads. So interesting to note that. See if the Copperheads can get his number at some point and strike him out. But first pitch, in for a strike to Walker Bridges. Starting pitching has been something where the Copperheads have steadily improved on as the losing streak has come to an end and the win streak, as the runner goes, it's going to be chopped off to Jordan Long. Jordan Long picks up the ball, delivers it to Class, and it's in time for out number 3. So that retires the side with only 1 hit given up and another strikeout added to Cody Williams' total. The score is still tied at 0 going into the top of the 3rd. You're listening to Southern Ohio Baseball on YouTube. It's the top of the third inning here at Foundation Field. Copperheads and Joes still scoreless. But the Copperheads will try to change that this inning as Diego Ortiz, the first batter up, fouls it up towards the first base side into our blind spot. We don't know what happens or if the catch was made. And we'll see. We're not necessarily sure yet. I think we'll do it again. I think the count is 0-1. Yep, so no catch was made. As here in this broadcast tent, Tim, we do have a blind spot down the first base line. It might be troublesome trying to figure out what happens down there half the time.
A little bit difficult to see over there, but it looks like that ball just drifted too far into the dugout.
So it'll be 0-1 to Diego Ortiz. Leisure delivers the pitch right into the strike zone on target for strike number two, rather. So it'll be 0-2 to Diego Ortiz.
Both of these pitchers been really impressive today.
Yep, and he gets caught swinging there for strike number 3. So the pitcher's duel between Cody Williams and Josh Leisure is now tied at 3 strikeouts apiece, and that'll bring on Jordan Long, working his way back into the lineup. And last time he did come here against the Joes on Foundation Field, he made a great catch on the hot corner at third base. He swings and misses at the first pitch. So he's in a hole here. 0-1 for the 9th hitter, Jordan Long. Trey Rucker is on deck as the pitch is in, and it's delivered once again for a strike as Leisure's throwing lasers out here in Hamilton. 0-2 pitch on its way, and Jordan Long gets some great contact. Gets a drive to right field and down for a base hit. Long makes it safely to first as Long is able to finally beat Leisure there, and that's a runner on for the Copperheads.
Apologize for the dead zone over there in
right field.
Right field, but that's where both of the hits today for the Copperheads have been. So, see if Trey Rucker can keep things going now.
Trey Rucker with a strikeout earlier today. With 1 runner on, takes the first pitch down low for ball number 1. So it'll be 1-0 to Trey Rucker. One of the higher on base percentages in the league, and getting a chance to lead off again as the ball skips across the ground. Looks like the catcher, Ulrich, kind of lost track of the ball there. The count is 2-0 to Trey Rucker. Copperheads and Joes on the season series, tied at 1. These teams will play 5 times total on the year, so it will be a pivotal tiebreaker as Trey Rucker takes the third pitch in for a ball. So 3 pitches, 3 balls delivered by Leisure. Trey Rucker with a couple of walks on the year, 10 of them. That's 3-0 pitch from Leisure. It's down low, so 4 pitches, 4 balls, and that's a walk. So 2 runners on for the Copperheads, and this is what we're talking about, Tim, with trying to get some opportune hitting now. And one of the guys that has had a hits on the day is about to come up, Gunnar Aldridge.
Perfect opportunity for Gunnar Aldridge to advance those runners and get them into scoring position. Jordan Long in scoring position, but to advance both runners.
Gunnar Aldridge takes the first pitch down low for a ball, so the count is 1-0 to Gunnar Aldridge. Aldridge, a man who's hitting above his average against the Joes, so stepped up his game a little bit every time he plays Hamilton. Already has a double on the day. Takes the 1-0 pitch for strike 1. That one was right on the money into the strike zone. Count is 1-1 here in Hamilton. Game is scoreless. 1-1 pitch on its way. It's going to be a grounder out to short. And can they turn 2? They do. That is a 6-4-3 double play, and that'll retire the side for the Copperheads. So Copperheads and Hamilton Joes, they have matched mano-a-mano so far this day, Tim, as it is scoreless. And we'll have a lot more baseball coming up. It'll be the bottom of the third when we come back. You're listening to Southern Ohio Baseball on YouTube. It's the bottom of the third inning here at Foundation Field. Cody Williams still on the mound for the Copperheads with a trio of strikeouts. He's played himself a really solid game thus far, and it's been a true pitcher's duel between him and Josh Lazier. And we'll see who will come out on top when it's all said and done. But there are some games that are already all said and done as the Xenia Scouts are up 9-1, or actually they finished the game up 9-1 against the Licking County Settlers. That's a big upset there, as Licking County was one of those teams up near the top of the division. Xenia near at the bottom, and they win 9-1 in dominant fashion.
Xenia now a 2-game win streak over 2 of the top 3 teams in this division. So, again, going back to that point, any given night for any team in this league.
Xenia now 5-7, so they're out of last place. So the Copperheads are now in last place in the division technically. They can change that if they do win today. For the Hamilton Joes, it'll be Tristan Melvin, Casey Fink, and Grant Miller. The 8, 9, and 1 due up as Tristan Melvin takes the first pitch from Cody Williams for a ball. Melvin 2 for 8 against the Copperheads this year, as the 1-0 pitch bounces up against the ground and into Steidel's hands for ball number 2.
Both pitchers really coming out, settling into this game early.
2-0 on its way, and right there into the strike zone, going right down Broadway. So the count is 2-1 for Cody Williams. Williams sets, delivers the pitch. It's going to be harpooned out into center field. Kyle Ratliff will end up fielding it. It will be a single for Tristan Melvin. So back-to-back leadoff singles to start innings for the Hamilton Joes. And that's what Casey Fink will have to work with, the 9th hitter for the Hamilton Joes. As seems like a lot of these games are starting to slur together, Tim, as we get through this season. You got so many games in such a short period of time, and you're playing the same teams on rotation. It's when you start mixing them up.
Some of the guys were talking about that a little bit on the bus today, too, on our way out here, just forgetting, maybe what game they made a certain play. And it is difficult to kind of remember all that, but luckily you and I take pretty decent notes, so we'll continue to do our best.
Yeah, if this was a class, I think I'd have an A, as the runner will go, and there won't be a throw. So Tristan Melvin advances to second on the stolen base. Count is 0-2, though, nevertheless, to Casey Fink.
Steidel looks like he either didn't get a good look on that one or just decided not to throw it, but kind of shaking his head after that play.
Game is scoreless, as the 0-2 pitch will be on its way from Cody Williams. He delivers in for strike number 3, and Cody Williams, that's 4 strikeouts through 3 innings.
Absolutely phenomenal start for the pitching staff in this one. Cody Williams settling in and taking care of business here.
I love seeing the improvement from game to game. His first game against the Settlers, again, you're trying to shake the rust off a little bit, and then now you've settled in. It's great to see that from Cody Williams. So with 1 down in the inning in a scoreless game, Grant Miller steps up to the plate. He struck out swinging the last time he was up for out number 1 of the first inning. Cody Williams looks back, delivers the pitch, skips across the ground for ball number 1 to Grant Miller. He's from Cincinnati, Ohio. A lot of local kids. When you play near a pretty big city like Cincinnati, you're going to get a lot of guys that are pretty local. 1-0 on its way. It's going to be chopped over to Jordan. Long delivers it to first base, Mitch Class, in time. So it'll be 2 down in the inning as Grant Miller goes down on the ground ball. No advance from Tristan Melvin, as Jordan Long did a good job of making sure to keep him at that second base spot. And that'll bring on Nicholas Wimmers.
He waited just long enough on that throw over to Class at first base, kind of looked him down a little bit, and then took care of the runner, Grant Miller.
So Nicholas Wimmers, who has a strikeout to his name on the day back in the first inning, is going to take the first pitch for a ball as it was above the strike zone. So the count is 1-0 with one runner on, 2 outs in the bottom of the third as this game has been moving. Only 35 minutes in here. We're already about 1/3 of the way through this game. Matchup that could prove pivotal in the standings when it's all said and done as the 1-0 pitch is delivered too low for ball number 2.
Interesting bit of technique that some of the fans get to see when we're sitting down at this angle is catcher Josh Steidel kind of leaning into those balls he knows is going to be on the ground. He takes his shoulders and kind of tries to get over top of the ball to prevent it from bouncing up and over him.
The 2-0 is fair. It's hit towards the first base side. Mitch Class at first fields the ball, steps on the bag for out number 3. So one runner left on for the Hamilton Joes. And the game is still scoreless going into the top of the 4th inning. You're listening to Southern Ohio Copperhead Baseball on YouTube. It is the top of the 4th inning here at Foundation Field. Copperheads and Joes are scoreless, and it has been a pitcher's duel in its truest form between Cody Williams and Josh Leisure. But the offense and the bats will try to come alive, starting with Kyle Ratliff, as well as Bam Thomas and Maverick Stallings, who are also due up in the inning, the 3-4-5 batter for the Copperheads. Looking to strike first blood. As Ratliff doesn't swing at that first pitch, it hops up against the ground and into the catcher's mitt for ball number 1. So it'll be 1-0 with Leisure pitching into his 4th inning here. Sets, delivers, in for a strike as that one hit the edge, the outer edge of the strike zone. So the count is 1-1 to Kyle Ratliff, who had a fly out to left field. 1-1 on its way, off the mark. So it's 2-1. That pitch was outside. Ratliff, one of those players that can hit it over the wall at a moment's notice. His 3 home runs on the year. Misses there on the swing and miss for strike number 2. Count is 2 across the boards, 2 balls, 2 strikes. To player number 2 on the Copperheads roster, Kyle Ratliff. Leisure sets up at the mound, delivers the pitch, and for strike number 3, he caught him looking. So Ratliff goes down, and that'll bring on Bam Thomas, coming off of his best game where he went 3 for 5 with a pair of runs against the Grand Lake Mariners, and will look to ride that momentum into this game.
Bam Thomas, 3 walks, 4 strikeouts on the year. But, yeah, Sedric, as you said, one of his best games of the year last night, really carried that offense, taking care of business last night, getting things started. I believe scored 2 runs as well. Yeah, scored 2 runs last night to help lead the Copperheads to victory.
Takes the first 2 pitches. The first one was a ball. The second one was a strike. So the count is 1-1 across the board with also 1 out. No runners on. Scoreless game here at Foundation Field in Hamilton, Ohio. Really nice backdrop for baseball. Got the clock tower in the background, a couple of residential houses. Definitely has its own charm as you see the 2-1 on its way from Leisure. Bam Thomas does not swing as the pitch was outside. So the count is 3-1 for Bam Thomas.
Really cool park, too, here in Hamilton, kind of back in a neighborhood situated. People are able to just kind of walk up, and kids can go play in the park while the game's going on. And really cool atmosphere here.
I agree. They even have a little mini water park out there, which is pretty cool. If I was a kid, I would have absolutely loved that, and then being able to go to the ball game afterwards makes a lot of great summer memories. But Bam Thomas, he was walked, and that brings on Maverick Stallings, who takes the first pitch low and away for ball number 1 from Leisure. Stallings grounded out earlier today. Looking for the first hit against the Joes this season. This is his first matchup against Hamilton, one of the newest members of the Copperhead squad, and he's really held it down at the shortstop position. Has been a solid rock there ever since he's shown up. As the count is 1-1, Leisure sets up at the mound, looks for his sign, gets the sign, delivers the pitch outside away. Bam Thomas will not try to scamper and steal second. So the count is 2-1, with the game's tied at 0 here at Foundation Field in what's been a pitcher's duel.
Coming in, I believe, Stallings has played every single game since he's been with the team.
Pass ball, Bam Thomas trying to make it in time. Will he make it? And he is safe. The ball ended up popping out of Samuel Lowe's glove when he was trying to cover second. And it'll be a stolen base for Bam Thomas. His first one of the season.
Heads up base running there by Bam, but Ulrich kind of back shoulder from his knees. Made that throw, put it on a really good line out there to Palmieri at second.
Swing and miss on the 3-1 pitch. So it'll be a full count to Maverick Stallings. And if you're the Copperheads, this is already a productive at-bat as you're trying to force them into their relief guys. As I'll say the Joes are one of the teams that does have probably one of the more impressive bullpens. So they have a lot of depth. But we'll see the 3-2 pitch on its way. It's going to be a fly ball out to short. Lowe is there, makes the catch. And that's 2 down in the inning. As Ratliff went down on strikes, Stallings goes down on the fly out. Bam Thomas was walked and then stole a base, so he's at second, and that's what Josh Steidel will have to work with as he flied out to short, his last at bat. And the first pitch from Leisure is on its way. Outside, just outside of the plate, so ball 1, so it'll be a 1-0 count, 2 outs. With the game scoreless.
Steidel, one of those guys that likely going to be an all-star when that voting comes in here in about a week or so, I believe, is when the all-star voting goes in. One of the premier catchers and really batters in this league.
Been very impressive, sitting at second place in the GLSCL in home run totals, tied with Kyle Ratliff with a trio of them. Only behind Austin Deering of the Richmond Jazz as the 2-1 pitch. It's on its way down low for ball number 3. As for Leisure, we've seen a lot less strikes thrown from him recently. As maybe the arm might start to get tired after a couple of at-bats where you've had to pitch 7, 8, or 9 times, which is what Lanning preaches. 3-1 pitch. It's going to be harpooned to first base. The play is made, and it's not. They dropped the ball. They had a chance to be able to score, or be able to get Josh Steidel at first, but the ball bounced off of the pitcher, Josh Leisure's hand, and the Copperheads are going to score off of that error. So Bam Thomas comes in. Josh Steidel is awarded second base off of the error after the ball went out of play, and we'll definitely re-summarize that to you, as that was something that was probably out of your guys' range there, being able to see with our video capabilities, but the play looked like it was going to just be a routine play where the first baseman rolled out. He made the play, and then he decided to throw it to Leisure, who was covering first from its pitcher position. He dropped the ball. Bam Thomas kept going around the bases, ended up coming home. And now the Copperheads strike first blood, Tim. 1-0 is the lead.
Wimmers made a really good play on that ball, laid out to snag it through from his back. to get it over to Leisure, who came down to cover on the plate, just not able to glove that ball. And Bam Thomas, I think, was coming home anyways, but then once that ball came over the play, or went out of play, rather, on this first base side, both runners were given an extra base, so Steidel up to second, Bam Thomas crosses the plate.
So I'll score that Josh Steidel single infield, and then he reached second off of the E1. So will count as an earned run since it is on the pitcher. And it's just been interesting over these past couple of games, Tim. The Copperheads have really benefited off of other teams' errors. It seems like whoever's at first base for the opposing team has had butterfingers recently, as we saw a couple of drops yesterday at first base by the Mariners, which helped the Copperheads be able to get a couple of extra situations where they're on base when they weren't going to be originally. And now today we see the Copperheads benefit. They take a 1-0 lead on the road here at Foundation Field. So Josh Steidel on second with 2 outs. And Mitch Class, who struck out earlier today, looking to get that first hit, takes the first pitch in for a ball.
Yeah, we've seen issues yesterday with Daniel Montagna of the Grand Lake Mariners, and then now today already issue with Nick Wimmers. So being able to hold things down, be steady at first base is critical for every team. We saw a couple of errors when Bam Thomas came over and played first base. It took him a little bit of time to get adjusted to that position. So thankfully for the Copperheads, Mitch Class, quite a bit of experience in this young season playing first base.
The 2-0 pitch is in for a strike. So the count is 2-1 to Mitch Class, who, although he struck out the last time around, he did force a full count, forced 7 pitches out of Leisure. As Steidel threatening the steal. Leisure holds him in place. Steidel shuffles. And Class takes strike number 2. So it's 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs for the Copperheads, up 1-0 against the GLSCL South leading Hamilton Joes. 2-2 on its way. It's too high upstairs and inside. So it's 3-2 to Mitch Class. And once again, full count. We'll have to give him a nickname about that, full count Class. Maybe it'll stick. The 3-2. And it's in for strike number 3 as he got Mitch Class looking. So that retires the side with 1 runner left on, but not before the Copperheads can put up 1 run and take the lead as we go into the bottom of the 4th, 1-0. You're listening to Southern Ohio Baseball on YouTube. Bottom of the 4th is about to be underway here at Foundation Field. Copperheads are up 1-0 over the Hamilton Joes, trying to move up in the rankings a little bit as, again, they have the same loss total as a team like the Richmond Jazz, who are sitting at 7-8 in the standings and are just 1 game out of that playoff spot. So the Copperheads not far off from that, and they have a chance to control their own destiny a little bit, get plenty of opportunities at all of these teams in the division, including the Settlers. They get 7 more games against that squad. So there's definitely a lot of chances for the Copperheads to be able to move up in the standings, but you just got to take it game by game, Tim. They can't think about, like, hey, we got to catch up we got to get there, we got to win 7 in a row to be able to make it. And right now, just take it 1 game by 1 game.
Exactly, Sedric. This season is long enough that you're able to look at it in even like a 2 or a 3 game set. Hey, let's try and take 2 of 3 this week. Let's try and take 3 of 4. Something like that, smaller goals, And that's how you're able to stay consistent, stay in every single game, right? And that's going to be the biggest thing. If you're consistently winning 2 out of 3 games, 2 out of 4 games, you're going to be in the mix at the end of the season come playoff time.
A lot of cannibalization in the conference so far, as everybody's been beating everybody as the first pitch is delivered in by Ulrich. Ulrich swings, misses for strike number 1. Cody Williams still on the mound as he has 4 strikeouts on the day. In a pitcher's duel with Josh Lazier, who has 5 strikeouts but has now given up a run. 0-1 just below the strike zone, a little bit outside of it. So the count is 1-1 to Evan Ulrich. Clay Badalak and Max Palmieri will also be due up this inning, as it's going to be a pop fly. It's going to be fouled. Might be coming back for our 10. I do not know. Count is 1-2.
Biggest thing that stands out to me so far, Sedric in this game, Lazier, 5 strikeouts but 2 walks. And Cody Williams, 4 strikeouts and no walks. So walks again becoming a big storyline in these games. There's another strikeout for Cody Williams.
Yep, picking it up. That's his 5th strikeout of the day, now tied with Lazier as he got Ulrich swinging. So Ulrich is now 0 for 2 on the day, and that'll bring on Clay Badalak, who had the first hit of the day for the Joes. It was a single to left field. Looking to try to go 2 for 2. Cody Williams has other plans, though, delivers the first pitch a little too high and outside for ball number 1.
Trying to work that zone, that upper outside part of the plate. Needs to kind of bring that in a little bit if he wants to work that side.
It's chopped over to short. Maverick Stallings, can he make it in time? He does. He's able to get the ball to Class in time at first base. And that's 2 runners up, 2 runners down in the 4th inning. Copperheads still up 1-0, and that'll bring on Palmieri.
Here in the bottom of the 4th with only 2 outs, Cody Williams just hit the 40 pitch mark. Only thrown 40 pitches, 27 of them for strikes, 13 of them for balls. So being really efficient tonight, too, trying to keep that pitch count low to stay in this game, maybe a little bit longer than Coach Harris and Coach Lanning have been planning.
Max Palmieri still looking for hit number 1. This is only his 3rd at-bat of the season as a Hamilton Joe. First pitch was delivered in for a ball. And second pitch is also a ball. This time this one was low and inside as opposed to high and outside. So the count is 2-0 quickly to Palmieri, who has a strikeout on the day. The 2-0. This time it's on the money, no doubt about it, for strike number 1.
Able to put everything all together there and find that zone on that pitch. Nice job from Williams.
The 2-1. And it's going to be driven out into right field. Ortiz looks like he is there. And he does make the catch. That was in our blind spot as well. So we have to judge the players' reactions to know whether it was a catch or not. But Ortiz makes the play to retire the side. So for the Copperheads and Cody Williams, that is 6 straight batters retired. Copperheads going into the 5th inning with the lead 1-0. You're listening to Southern Ohio Baseball on YouTube. It's the top of the 5th inning here at Foundation Field. The Copperheads are up 1-0 over the Hamilton Joes, looking to make it 2 wins here at Foundation Field on the season against the defending champions. Ortiz is up first, and it'll be Jordan Long and Trey Rucker also due up in the inning, the 8, 9, and 1 batters for your Copperheads. First pitch was in for a ball from Leisure. Second pitch down low for ball number 2. "2-0 on its way. It's going to be hit to shortstop. Lowe delivers it in time for out number 1 to first base. So Ortiz goes down on the ground out, and that'll bring on the third baseman Jordan Long, who has a single and then was out and retired on a 6-4-3 double play hit later in the inning.
Jordan Long starting to work himself back into this lineup. Had to take a couple days off just to kind of reset the body and things like that, starting to get healthy again after that really grind of a first week where he got quite a bit of playing time.
Leisure nicked the bottom of the strike zone for strike number 1, and then Jordan Long fires it into right field, and it is fair. That's his second base hit of the day. Long going to second base. Will he make it in time? Yes, and he's going to try to make it to third base. There's going to be a throw. Can he make it in time? No, he is tagged. Jordan Long tried to get to third, make it a triple, but the throw was there in time, and he goes down.
I think he might have just missed the sign from Coach Lanning over there at third base. It looks like Coach was kind of giving him the stop sign, and I don't know if Jordan just didn't see him or thought he might have been able to leg that one out, but tough break for the Copperheads there, as it was a nice throw in from right field. Casey Fink and Walker Bridges connecting on the throw there.
So 2 outs for the Copperheads. That'll bring on Trey Rucker as Leisure delivers the pitch into the grass, or I guess into the fake grass, rather, as we are playing on turf.
Trey Rucker, the designated beer batter today. Hamilton Joes also do their version of a beer batter here at Foundation Park.
1-0 is in for a strike to Trey Rucker. And I'm always impressed with the Hamilton Joes crowds. They're up there with the Southern Ohio Copperheads for highest attendance in the league, as the 1-1 is on its way. Harpooned in between first and second base out into right field, and that's going to be a base hit for Trey Rucker. Rucker picks up the single for the Copperheads.
Always great. Something actually Bam Thomas and I talked about on the bus today out here, was really hoping there was going to be a crowd here, and I was telling him that Hamilton's up there with the crowds, and he got all excited. He was like, yes, I love playing in front of the crowd. Some of these games that we play, the crowds just aren't as either active or what have you, and Hamilton definitely one of those environments where the fans do get into it and show out in numbers.
Trey Rucker picks up the stolen base there as he's able to scamper on the first pitch. That was a strike to Gunnar Aldridge, who has a double and also hit into a double play. So a pair of doubles, one being good, one being bad. So no balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, with 1 runner on second for Gunnar Aldridge. Pitches high and outside for ball number 1. Copperheads trying to increase the lead here, working with a 1-0 lead here at Hamilton, just 20 minutes north of Cincinnati. Rucker maybe looking like he will try to steal, but we'll go back to second base.
Bit of a dance move out there, trying to throw Leisure off of his game, maybe hang something over the middle for Gunnar Aldridge.
Gunnar Aldridge swings, and looks like a drop strike hit. It might be a foul tip. I think they're going to call it a foul tip there, so we'll do it again at 1-2. So 1-2 count to number 1-2 on the Copperheads. With 2 outs, 1 runner on second. Leisure sets, delivers the pitch. Chopper is going to stay in play. Leisure fields it, throws it, not in time, and Rucker's going to go to home. Will the play be made? And they say he is out. Trey Rucker tried to get to home, and he is out, as the play was right in front of your guys' camera. So you guys had a chance to see that one live as Rucker tried to go all the way in. and wasn't able to make it. So that retires the side. Copperheads still up 1-0 going into the bottom of the 5th inning. But it ends with a little bit of controversy as Coach Lanning tries to argue his side there, but to no avail. You're listening to Southern Ohio Baseball on YouTube. It's the bottom of the 5th inning here at Foundation Field. Williams delivers the first pitch. Jordan Long fields it at third. Can he make it in time? He does. Jordan Long at third base has been solid, and him and Mitch Class have been on the same page. So that's one quick down here in the inning. That was Samuel Lowe who was batting, so he goes down. That'll bring on Walker Bridges, and Tristan Melvin is the other batter that is due up this inning for the Hamilton Joes, looking for hit number 1 against the or looking for run number 1 rather against the Copperheads. First pitch, it's going to be a drive into foul territory for strike number 1 for Walker Bridges, who has a ground out to his name.
Bit of an update after what happened in that top of the 5th inning. It is Trey Rucker has been ejected from this game for not sliding into home plate, trying to knock the ball out of the catcher's hands. Umpire not a fan of that, so Trey Rucker has been removed from this game. I believe that Clayton Hodges is out there replacing him in left field.
Tough luck for the Copperheads as Trey Rucker is having a great game so far, but again, Copperheads have had to go through a lot of adversity this season, and that's going to add to the list. As we saw Walker Bridges hit a drive out to center field. No problem for Kyle Ratliff making the catch. So it's quick 2 outs and just 4 or 5 pitches there as Cody Williams delivers the pitch down low to Tristan Melvin, who has a single. Part of that streak in the middle of the game here where the Joes had leadoff singles and then 3 straight batters retired for 2 innings in a row. Fouled backwards for, looks like another strike. So the count is 1-1 to Tristan Melvin. Copperheads up 1-0. Only run of the day coming off of a Bam Thomas score off of an error. 1-1 on its way from Cody Williams. It's going to be a foul ball going into out of play. So it'll be 1-2. Also like to shout out the broadcasters of the Hamilton Joes and Blake and Luke. Always great being able to see them. Always show great hospitality and making sure we're all set up for our broadcast. So always thankful to those guys. As the 1-2, it's on its way. And it's driven into foul territory once again, so we'll do it again at 1-2. Cody Williams pitching against Tristan Melvin. 2 outs in the inning. Copperheads up 1-0. Looking for win number 6 on the season. The ball is down low for ball number 2. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Number 7 at bat. Well, the Hamilton Joes wearing their black jerseys, black helmets. Copperheads in their orange jerseys, green caps. 2-2. And it's going to be hit to center field and down for a base hit. Melvin running around second. Ball has not been fielded yet. He's going to try to make it to third. There's the throw. He slides in, and he's safe. Hamilton Joes pick up the big triple from Tristan Melvin, who has 2 for 2 for the day now with a single and a triple. Still alive for the home run cycle if he can add a double and a home run. Shout out Luke Borer, who had one of those back in high school.
Really solid piece of hitting there. Put that right where Bam Thomas, or rather Kyle Ratliff and Diego Ortiz not able to make a play on that. So great job by Melvin.
Williams delivers to Casey Fink for strike number 1. Great bounce back pitch there after the triple.
Williams been able to find the zone today. 36 strikes compared to just 17 balls. So been able to locate that fastball and just throw strikes.
Down for a base hit, and that will score a runner. It's an RBI single for Casey Fink, scoring Tristan Melvin, and the game is tied here at Foundation Field, 1-1.
Fink finds the gap there in between Gunnar Aldridge and Maverick Stallings, and really solid piece of situational hitting.
So now the crowd is starting to get into it here at Foundation Field. They're sitting claps all around and seeing the dugout as well of all the Hamilton Joes players out there clapping. As the game is tied in the bottom of the 5th inning, 1-1, after the RBI single from Fink, scoring Melvin. Cody Williams fires back with a strike delivered to Grant Miller, who has a strikeout and a ground out on the day. The 0-1, it's going to be hit to third, and it gets past Jordan Long, down for another base hit. So 5 runners have been up. The first 2 were retired, and then the next 3 get hits.
Just really good hitting into the gaps there by the Hamilton Joes. That one kind of got in between the outstretched glove of Jordan Long, who laid out for it and just not able to get his glove on it.
Now, the good thing about this situation here, you have 2 runners on, but you have 2 outs. So you just need to get that 1 more out against Nicholas Wimmers, and you can retire the side with only a little bit of damage done. And still, again, solid start for Cody Williams overall, hitting 5 strikeouts on the day, looking for number 6 here against Wimmers, who has struck out and grounded out on the day. The pitch is delivered, chopped into second base, and Williams goes to cover, and he drops the ball. Williams cannot make the play as he tried to do a good job of covering, but the ball was thrown a little bit behind him by Class. So the bases are loaded for the Richmond Jazz. Not Richmond Jazz. Why are they on my mind right now? I guess I'm just thinking about music. I did listen to a lot of music on my way up here. But no, the Hamilton Joes, who have been anything but average with their bats this inning.
Cody Williams coming over to cover. Mitch Class probably could have just stayed at first, let Gunnar Aldridge field that ball, would have had a cleaner look at it. But nonetheless, a good play by Class, and Williams just trying to beat that throw and got a little bit distracted, I think.
So Casey Fink's on third, Grant Miller on second, Nicholas Wimmers on first for Evan Ulrich, who has a fly out and a strikeout today, looking for hit number 1. A couple of players on his team were able to get hit number 1 as he fouls it backwards for strike number 2. So potentially 1 pitch away from getting out of a jam for Cody Williams, trying to finish off the bottom of the 5th inning here. What's been a quality start for Cody Williams. Williams sets at the mound, delivers the pitch inside, and he's got him! 3 runners left on for the Hamilton Joes. A very timely strikeout by Cody Williams. Gives up 1 run, but overall on the day, great start for Cody Williams, and we might see more of him as the game continues. Copperheads and Joes were all tied up going into the 6th inning. We got a game on our hands. You're listening to Southern Ohio Baseball on YouTube. The 6th inning is about to be underway here at Foundation Field. Copperheads and Joes all tied up at 1 as this game has been an absolute battle, starting off with a pitcher's duel, and then we start to see the bats come alive a little bit, a couple of hits driven in by either team, and that's how we're at 1-1. As we have a new pitcher for the Hamilton Joes, it's Alex Wilsbach, 1-0 on the season in 4 appearances. It's an ERA of 1.5. Picked up that win against the Jazz back on June 10th in a 5-2 victory for the Joes. Kyle Ratliff, Bam Thomas, Maverick Stallings all due up this inning. You're 3-4-5. And the first pitch from Wilsbach is fouled off for a strike as Wilsbach, one of those pitchers we did see last time in the game against the Copperheads, and we remember him for having an interesting motion with his pitching.
Something Copperheads had to get used to. Took him a little bit of time. Kind of throws that sidearm, not quite submarine, but definitely gets that arm more to that 180 degrees as opposed to straight over, up and down.
Kyle Ratliff accepting the challenge of facing off against Wilsbach here. It's an 0-2 count for Ratliff. Pitches outside and low for ball number 1. Ratliff with a fly out and a strikeout looking on the day.
Hitting .276 for the year, 3 home runs, 10 RBIs, leads the team in runs batted in.
Pass ball, that'll result in ball number 2. So we have a very interesting scoreboard here as it looks like it says Mariners and guest, which is kind of interesting to see. It's not off of on your guys' screen, but I don't know if I guess they have the Copperheads as the guest and the Joes as the Mariners. We're all topsy-turvy as the pitch count is 3-2. So good work by Ratliff, working the count back into a full count after being down 0-2 against Wilsbach. Pitches in, and he caught Ratliff swinging. So Ratliff goes down, and that'll bring on Bam Thomas. Bam Thomas on the day at a 4-3 ground out. And then also scored the only run of the day off of an error as his hot streak of scoring runs in games continues.
Bam Thomas, a lefty now, working against Wilsbach, the righty. See if he can get a pitch he likes. Probably Bam Thomas, a bigger guy, so probably up around a little bit higher maybe.
First pitch was low at 6 o'clock, and second pitch was more at 9 o'clock. Both balls. So it's 2-0 to Bam Thomas. Wilsbach sets, delivers the pitch. Outside and away, which mean the same thing. Should just say outside. 3-0 count. To Bam Thomas. Swings and misses there.
Hitters count 3-0. Not a bad swing there by Bam Thomas. Trying to see if he can make something happen on a pitch he likes. Down in the zone.
3-1 on its way. Chopper fouled back towards us. Hopefully doesn't hit the camera. Does not. But I'm sure that makes for a nice little visual. If you guys invested in the 3D Copperheads plan, I think you guys would be very happy with that moment.
Have to get our marketing team on that for us. Got a long list for them.
The payoff pitch on its way from Wilsbach, and he got Bam Thomas swinging. So it's 2 runners up, 2 strikeouts for the Copperheads, as Wilsbach is off to a great start for the Joes. And this will bring on Maverick Stallings. For the Hamilton Joes, looking at their roster, they have a lot more depth at the pitcher position than most of the other teams in the league. As you see some teams like the Mariners and the Jazz where they only have about 8 or 9 pitchers. This team has a ton of them, and a lot of really talented ones at that. Even one that's committed to Mississippi State in Dome, who was at Ball State and entered the transfer portal like a lot of collegiate athletes do, and signed to an SEC school. The first pitch to Stallings was a ball. Now he chops the 1-0 pitch out to shortstop low, throws it to Wimmers, and that retires the side. So it's 3 runners up, 3 runners down for the Copperheads in the top of the 6th. The Joes will grab the bats when we come back. You're listening to Southern Ohio Baseball on YouTube. It's the bottom of the 6th inning here at Foundation Field in beautiful Hamilton, Ohio. So we've gone into the 70s, feels very comfortable out here as Cody Williams delivers the first pitch to Clay Badalak, who has a single and a ground out to his name on the day. Max Palmieri, Samuel Lowe, 5 and 6 hitters, also going to be due up in the inning for Hamilton, trying to take a lead over the Copperheads, who pitched a great day thanks to Cody Williams with his 7 strikeouts. Has allowed 5 hits, but did a good job of damage control the last time out as there was bases loaded and he was able to get out of the jam. Delivers the 2-0 pitch in the strike zone for strike number 1, hitting that inside part of the zone. Copperheads and Joes tied up at 1 in a low-scoring affair.
Williams able to maintain his composure with the bases loaded. A lot of times this season we've seen pitchers get behind or maybe get themselves in a bit of a jam and struggle kind of working themselves out of it. Williams showed a lot of maturity, a lot of composure in working himself out of that jam, only allowing that 1 run.
From getting to hang out with Williams a little bit at some of the functions that we've had, he's a very happy-go-lucky guy, one of those guys where, again, when he talked to, when he was reading to the kids, is there's a deep drive center field. Ratliff is there, makes the catch. But even he was playing beach ball with some of the kids as well. Took a couple of hits to the face with the beach ball as well, but still had a good laugh about it and talked about how when he was a kid, he would have loved for baseball players to come read and do what the Copperheads are doing. And the fact that the Copperheads are giving back to the community that way, not only Williams, but many other players were also there as well, including the whole team 2 days ago at the big function. Actually, 1 day ago, as the days do slur together. Yesterday at the Kids on Campus function, as the first pitch into Max Palmieri is in for ball number 1.
What a great opportunity that Kids on Campus was. Shout out to Herschel for getting all that coordinated and able to.
Base hit down the left side of the field, and it'll only be a single. So good work out there in the outfield by Clayton Hodges, who came into the game for Trey Rucker, who's working at the left field position, being able to make the play, as it was one of those hits where it kind of laced just inside. It kind of tucked itself inside the third base and then went out into like foul territory. So it's tough to get a run on that and not allow an extra base hit. So keeping it a single is great. That is the first hit of the season, though, for Max Palmieri. So finally getting that burden off his back there. Is only his 4th at-bat of the season, so great for him picking up that hit. Not great for the Copperheads, though, as it's an 0-1 count to Sam Lowe. Sam Lowe fly out and a ground out. And the second pitch from Williams delivered in for a strike. So 0-2 now to number 2 with 1 out, 1 runner on, in a 1-1 game here in Hamilton.
That pitch puts Williams over the 70-pitch mark, so see how this inning goes, but likely he will not get another inning going into the 7th with that pitch count up in the 70s, 72 now.
Samuel Lowe fouls the ball. Still stay at 0-2 with 1 out, 1 runner on. That runner is Palmieri on the base path for the first time this year. And they got him. Samuel Lowe tried to get a swing on that one, but the pitch was high, and he went trying to catch that one. That's another strikeout for Cody Williams, his 8th of the day, and he ties with Daniel Walter for the most strikeouts from a pitcher of the Copperheads this season.
Great job by Cody Williams staying in this game. Steidel throws.
Runner goes. Do they got him? They do! Gunnar Aldridge is able to make the tag on Palmieri. Good work from Steidel, absolutely delivering a great throw, and that retires the side as the Copperheads are starting to celebrate right in front of their dugout, and they have every reason to celebrate after this defensive performance they put through 6 innings. We're going to the top of the 7th. It's the latter part of the game, and the Copperheads and Joes are tied up at 1. This game is great. It's going to have a fantastic final couple of chapters. You're listening to Southern Ohio Baseball on YouTube. It's the 7th inning here at Foundation Field. Southern Ohio Copperheads at 5-8 on the year, looking for win number 6. Hamilton Joes looking for win number 10. Game is all tied up as Josh Steidel takes strike 1 from Wilsbach, who stepped in the last inning to pitch here for the Joes. And it'll be the 0-1 on its way to Steidel. Steidel shimmies backwards, takes ball number 1, so the count is 1-1. And I'll make a correction there. Cody Williams has 7 strikeouts, as I miscounted in the heat of the moment. Still, excellent performance, and we'll see if we see more of them, as Steidel has to show off a little dodgeball moves there as he does a little bit of a back juke to get away from the ball. Count is 2-1. With the game tied at 1 at Foundation Field. Wilsbach delivers. It's going to be chopped over to third. Can Steidel make it? No, not in time. The play was made by Walker Bridges, the third baseman, who stepped up from his position. The ball kind of died out in the turf, and he was able to make the play in time for out number 1.
Steidel hasn't made solid contact in his last couple at-bats. Trying to kind of focus in and make solid contact like we know he can. Just maybe a bit in his head. We'll kind of see. But
so Mitch Class is up for the Copperheads. Wilsbach delivers the pitch. First one is low or high and inside for ball number 1 to Mitch Class, who has a pair of strikeouts on the day, but he has forced full counts each of those times. Looked like a check swing there, and they're going to say he did not go, so the count is 2-0 for Mitch Class. Two-0 pitch on its way, down low, outside, and it'll be 3 pitches and 3 balls. And we'll see if Mitch Class can be able to force the walk here or get a hit. Wilsbach delivers, throws a pitch. That is in for a strike, so it's 3-1.
Good recovery pitch there from Wilsbach. Giving him something right over the plate to hit.
Another one that's over the plate. So now the count is full. So third time that Mitch Class has dealt with a full count today. We'll see if he can get the better of Wilsbach. Payoff pitch coming up, and it's a pass ball, so that's going to be a walk. Mitch Class advances to first, and he's been absolutely fantastic at forcing these high pitch counts, and it's really a great niche that he has in the lineup, especially been doing a lot of batting in the 6th, 7th, 8th slot, and when there's already a lot of pitches that you have to deal with going through the top half of the order, having Class in there can force a lot of walks out of pitchers.
Yeah, having guys like Trey Rucker, Carson Shepard, guys like that at the top of your lineup that have really high on-base percentages. It's nice to have that on the bottom half of your lineup as well. Guys like Mason Nadolny, guys like Mitch Class that are able to just consistently find ways to get on base, work that pitch count, and then you're on base. For those bottom of the order guys, they're on base by the time those top of the order guys get back up.
Diego Ortiz is hit by pitch, so he's going to also advance. So walk and a hit by pitch allows 2 runners on for the Copperheads with 1 out, game tied 1-1. And for the first time today, we will see Clayton Hodges, or actually it should be Jordan Long up first, actually. We'll see, but we saw Hodges getting to the on-deck circle, and we'll see if this is the end of the day for Wilsbach, as looks like there's a little conversation going on between Coach Thaman and Wilsbach. Coach Thaman, one of the more impressive coaches in the GLSCL, winning a championship both as a coach and as a player for a very successful Hamilton Joes team, one of the most successful in the GLSCL. As if we look at some of the accomplishments that this team has had over the years, and definitely a couple of championships for a long-running team. Yeah, 3 championships as they're celebrating their 13th year of existence. Also a runner-up in there as well. So very successful. But we will see a new pitcher, and we'll take a little break. Copperheads and Joes tied up at 1 in a great battle to see if the Copperheads can get to 6-8. You're listening to Southern Ohio Baseball on YouTube. We're still in the top of the 7th inning with the game tied at 1 between the Hamilton Joes and your Southern Ohio Copperheads. We have a pitching change. It's Shay Hendrickson, former teammate of, our teammate currently of Alex Wilsbach, not only as a Hamilton Joe, but teammate at the University of Southern Indiana. Shay Hendrickson made an appearance against the Copperheads earlier this year where he pitched 2 innings, allowed no runs. His ERA on the season is 5.14 and is 1-0 on the season, and with the win-loss record, he picked up that win against the Xenia Scouts back on June 7th. So that was back opening night, I believe, as we've really been going through the season, 17 days into the year, and we're rolling along in the GLSCL. As it's been a great year, great for the Copperheads to be back after a 2-year hiatus and getting to face off against a team that's had a lot of success and won the championship last time.
And just talking to other people, whether that be around the ballpark or out in the community, things like that, it's just been so important to have the Copperheads back, and so many people are excited to get involved and come out to the ballpark, and they want to talk to the players, the coaches, members of the staff, and find out how everybody's doing. And it's really been awesome to see.
It really has been, and I'm glad that us as broadcasters, we also get a chance to be able to see the community events. And, of course, Skylar Watts, our social media coordinator, has been doing a great job as well. As, what's up, Gunner? How's it going? You can see him up on the camera. That's what we love, having the cameras up here. As it'll be Jordan Long, who will be up to bat with Clayton Hodges on deck and Gunner Aldridge in the hole. So Gunner Aldridge give a nice little wave to the camera. Always love that sort of interaction. One of the benefits of having the camera right up here. But the Joes and the Copperheads will play 5 games, and it's one of those series where back in the second game I predicted that we need to go 3-2 against the Joes if we want to make the playoffs. Top 2 teams in the South will get a playoff spot, as the first pitch from Hendrickson is fouled off by Jordan Long. And Jordan Long has a single, and then he also had a situation where he got a hit, but then was picked off at third base trying to get a triple.
Maybe legged out a little bit too much, as Coach Lanning kind of gave him that stop sign as he was coming around second, but might have missed it or something.
1 out in the inning, 2 runners on for Jordan Long. 0-1 on its way, hops against the ground, and Ulrich does a good job of twisting the hips over there to the second to third base path to prevent any sort of run from Mitch Class, who's second base runner right now. First base runner is Diego Ortiz. Class made it by a walk. Ortiz made it by a hit by pitch. Jordan Long up to bat with a 1-1 count. Fly ball high up into the air. Wimmers comes in from first base, makes the catch. 2 down, 2 runners on. Copperheads tied 1-1. And that'll bring on Clayton Hodges for the first time this game.
Hodges coming in relief of Trey Rucker, who was ejected from this game, unfortunately, for a discrepancy at the plate. He kind of slid around, or maybe like kind of fell into Evan Ulrich at home plate, and umpire thought he was trying to hit the catcher, so tossed him here. We'll keep you all updated as necessary with the situation there.
So the first pitch was taken by Hodges for a strike, and the second pitch is fouled off backwards, so the count is 0-2 with 2 outs for Clayton Hodges.
Let's go with him.
Hodges hitting .218 on the year, starting to really come into his own as he's gotten a few extra chances to play here as of recent, mixing up that outfield a little bit for the Copperheads.
0-2, skips across the ground for ball number 1, so the count is 1-2. Clayton Hodges scored a run the last time that he played the Hamilton Joes off of the RBI double from Kyle Ratliff. Hodges really enjoyed the leadoff position yesterday and made the most out of it, picked up a hit. And they got him swinging as it's a drop third strike. Ulrich throws it off to Wimmers, and that retires the side. So Copperheads aren't able to get anything off of 2 runners getting on base. So the game is 1-1 going into the bottom of the 7th inning. And this game is starting to run low on time here, Tim, and things are going to have to start happening for either of these teams, or we might see our first overtime game of the season. Still plenty of time to go, though. And with this game tied once again at 1-1, you're listening to Southern Ohio Baseball on YouTube. The bottom of the 7th inning is underway. Cody Williams still on the mound for the Copperheads with 7 strikeouts, no walks. Delivers the first pitch inside for a ball. The runners due up in this inning for the Hamilton Joes are Walker Bridges, Tristan Melvin, Casey Fink. Bridges has a ground out and a fly out. Flies it out to right center field, and it's down for a base hit. And it will be an extra base hit. Ratliff finally gets a hand of the ball. Bridges going to third. And he will slide safely in the third. So that's the second triple of the day for the Hamilton Joes. And now they have a runner in scoring position, and this will put the pressure on Cody Williams.
Really similar shot to the other triple that was hit earlier this game. Went out and hit the, I believe that's a YMCA sign out there in deep right center field, probably in the neighborhood of 375 out there in right field. One hop to the fence. And just kind of out of the range of both Diego Ortiz and Kyle Ratliff out there.
Yeah, it seems like right now the hitting has just been right on target for the Hamilton Joes. They keep finding the space in between the defensive alignment of the Copperheads. And the 0-1 pitch in for strike number 2. So 2 pitches, 2 strikes to Tristan Melvin, who is the other batter of the day who did have a triple. And he's the only batter to have scored for the Hamilton Joes. He scored off an RBI single from Casey Fink.
Cody Williams been doing a good job all day of giving up that hit and then having a really good recovery at bat.
He'll need one right here as the Copperheads do not want to give up this lead. They're going to need to have some pretty stellar pitching or a play at the plate from Josh Steidel. The 1-2, it's on its way. It's going to be harpooned in for a base hit. That's going to score a runner. RBI single for the Hamilton Joes coming from Tristan Melvin, and that scores Bridges. And now for the first time today, the Hamilton Joes have a lead over our Copperheads, 2-1. Josh Steidel goes to meet with Cody Williams here, as that's a couple of really great leadoff hits today for the Hamilton Joes. That's been their strong suit. We saw it in the 2nd inning, the 3rd inning, and now we see it in the 7th inning as well. And that also gets the crowd into it, especially with some of these away games. There's been smaller crowds, but the Hamilton Joes is not one of them. As the runner will go, can he make it in time? And they got him!
Steidel put that one on a clothesline out there to Maverick Stallings at second base to make that play. What a throw by Steidel.
Stealing bases has not been easy today for the Hamilton Joes. They've attempted 3 times, only been successful once, thanks to the arms of Josh Steidel, as well as the coverage from Stallings and Aldridge at second base. So now no runners on for Casey Fink, who has a strikeout and a single. Takes the first pitch in for ball number 1. Hamilton trying to be the first team in the GLSCL with 10 wins on the season, reflecting that number 10 jersey of Casey Fink. Copperheads looking for win number 6. As the pitch is delivered just off the mark, barely off of the zone. Count is 3-0.
Just on that inside part of the plate there. Fink staying alive here, working the count all the way to 3-0. Likely see him take a hack at this one.
3-0 down low, and that is the first walk of the day for Cody Williams. So that puts one runner back on after Tristan Melvin was caught stealing. Casey Fink takes his place at first base. And that'll bring on Grant Miller. So the top of the order is back up for the Hamilton Joes. Grant Miller has a strikeout, ground out, and a single. Shows bunt, has a really good bunt placed, and Williams falls. Can he skip it over to Class? And he's not able to get it down. So a successful infield single on the bunt. 2 runners on now for the Joes with only 1 out.
Cody Williams, really good job to stop that ball, start to throw it over, but it appears that will be the end of his day here with 6 1/3 innings. Pitch count up in the 80s, but a really solid performance today from him.
It has been. So he finishes the day with a total of 6 1/3 innings pitched, 10 hits, 1 walk, and the big number right here, 7 strikeouts, and another important number, only 2 runs given up. And Cody Williams' day was very successful, and it'll bring on the next pitcher for the Copperheads. We'll see who from the bullpen will be coming in when we come back. Picking up here in the bottom of the 7th inning, you see a couple of different changes happen here for both of these squads as things are going to be moved around a little bit. First off, for the Copperheads, they have a new pitcher in the game. It's Adam Bieri, the Ohio University Bobcat, playing for the hometown team with the Southern Ohio Copperheads. And last time we saw him was against the Jazz, where he pitched 1 1/3 inning, only allowed 1 run, struck out 2, walked 1. And he's made 5 appearances on the year, boasting a 3.85 ERA, delivers his first pitch upstairs for ball number 1 with 2 runners on. Joes have just taken the lead in this inning, 2-1, thanks to an RBI single from Tristan Melvin. And now Nicholas Wimmers looks to make something happen as he takes ball number 2.
Bieri among that group of solid middle relief / closer guys that this Copperheads team has. We're talking about Bieri, we're talking about Luke Bohr, Sean Peck, Jared Oakes, guys that can come in, throw strikes, and get this team out of innings.
There's a hit out to Jordan Long, and they dropped the second play at second as Aldridge tried to make the play at second, had his foot down, but drops the ball. So all the runners are safe on the attempted fielder's choice. And now the bases are loaded with only 1 out, so Bieri going to have a jam to work with as Evan Ulrich comes up to the plate.
Tough break for the Copperheads. Aldridge just not able to hold on to that one, and I think they'll score that one probably either an error or a hit.
Yeah, I think I'm going to score it as a fielder's choice into an error as we see the first pitch to Ulrich. Ulrich hits it down the line, and it's just fouled. So it'll be 0-1 to Evan Ulrich with 1 out. Copperheads down 1-2. Hamilton Joe's threatening to increase their lead. Copperheads, they've allowed a lot of hits today, but they've done a great job of not allowing them to score. Bieri's pitch is too low, gets past Steidel. But no harm, no foul, so it'll be a 1-1 count to Evan Ulrich, who has a fly out and a pair of strikeouts in the 4th and 5th inning. 1-1 on its way. It's going to be pop flied into foul territory for strike number 2.
Bieri working himself back into this count and trying to get the second out in this inning. Trying to limit the damage here.
Casey Fink, the man on third for the Joes, trying to score with Ulrich. Facing a 1-2 count. Adam Bieri at the mound for the Copperheads, trying to keep the lead at just 1-2. Delivers a pitch, swing and miss, and that's strike number 3. You're out, Hamilton Joes, as Evan Ulrich goes down on strikes. And that was a much-needed strikeout, Tim.
Yes, it was. Bieri came in and delivered exactly what they needed in that situation. Could not afford working that count any higher into a walk. So now has 2 outs. Force out at any base.
Out trots Clay Badalak. Clay Badalak has a single, ground out, and a fly out on his resume today and takes the first pitch in for a ball. Badalak trying to drive a couple of runners home as the bases are loaded for the Hamilton Joes, up 2-1, trying to pad the lead as the pitch there is delivered off the mark for a ball, so the count is 1-1. With 2 outs in the inning, Copperheads down 1-2 on the road against Hamilton, trying to go 2 for 2 at this stadium. And that pitch is delivered inside for a strike. So that actually is the first strike. It was a 2-0 count, rather, the first time, and now it's 2-1 to Badalak, the man whose name sounds like Cadillac. And he'll try to drive his runners home. The 2-1. And he does drive his runners home as he gets it out to Clayton Hodges. Hodges drops the ball, and that's going to bring in 2 runners. And the third baseman is able, as the ball goes over Jordan Long, and multiple runners score off of the hit from Clay Badalak. And tough break for the Copperheads, who are now down 4-1.
Another situation where the Hamilton Joes just able to hit into the gap, find those openings in the defense of the Southern Ohio Copperheads and put balls into play. Hit that one right out there to Hodges, and Hodges might have just rushed that one a little bit. Luckily didn't result in any runs coming across the place as Fink just stayed at third. But
so Clay Badalak picks up 2 RBIs on that double, scoring Grant Miller and Casey Fink. The score is 4-1 now in favor of the Hamilton Joes. And with a runner on second, runner on third, that brings on a new batter here for the Hamilton Joes, a pinch runner, or pinch batter rather, pinch hitter. Got to get that phrase right there. I struck out the first time, struck out the second time, didn't strike out the third time as
Riley Hawthorne.
Yep, Riley Hawthorne ends up getting it inside to Stallings. Stallings gets it to Class to retire the side. So Copperheads down 4-1. They allow a couple of runs there, a trio of them. And the Hamilton Joes have now put the Copperheads in a little bit of a bind. We'll see if the Copperheads can find their way out of it and try to get that 6th win of the season. You're listening to Southern Ohio Baseball on YouTube.
Let's go, boys.
The 8th inning is underway here at Foundation Field. Copperheads, after allowing a trio of runs, are now down 1-4. And that'll bring on the first batter for the Copperheads of this inning, Gunnar Aldridge. He'll be followed by Ratliff and Thomas, who are also due up this inning, the 2, 3, and 4 batters for the Copperheads. And they'll try to work against Shay Hendrickson, who came in, got the last 2 outs of the inning. And Gunnar Aldridge fires a hit, and it's going to be a base hit into right center field. And it's a standing single there for Gunnar Aldridge, getting it started. He is 3 for 4 on the day, having an absolute blast of a day here in Hamilton.
Working himself out of that slump we talked about yesterday, as hasn't really been able to find his groove recently. Now played a really solid game yesterday, now 3 for 4 again today.
Gunnar Aldridge out of Michigan State, looking to continue to improve, get some more time as well as a Spartan. And that's the type of things that they're going to love seeing, as Kyle Ratliff is back up at the plate, had a fly out to left field and a pair of strikeouts, one looking, one swinging. He works with one batter on. With a 1-0 count, nobody out, top of the 8th inning. Copperheads down 1-4 on the road against the Hamilton Joes. Joes looking for win number 10, as they sit atop of the South Division. Copperheads looking to get back in there. As there's a pickoff attempt, Hendrickson throws it back to Wimmers. Runner is safe. Runner at first is Aldridge.
Be huge if Ratliff could come away with something here, really give a spark to this offense. We've seen what he can do with a big swing, really change the game for this team.
On its way down low, so 3 pitches, 3 balls, and we'll see if Kyle Ratliff takes a chance to be able to swing at this hitter's count, as Hendrickson is more than likely going to have to throw something over the plate.
Be a dangerous thing to throw Ratliff something over the plate.
And he does throw it over the plate for strike number 1, so the count is 3-1, still in favor of Kyle Ratliff, who tied for the team lead of home runs, has a trio of them. His biggest one came in the 9th inning to win the game against the Xenia Scouts. Pickoff attempt, Aldridge just dives in time. That was an excellent pickoff move from Hendrickson. Nevertheless, Copperhead stays safe, as it's a 3-1 count coming to Kyle Ratliff. The Copperheads are trying to dig themselves out of a 4-1 hole. And the pitch is too high, so that'll walk Kyle Ratliff. No outs, 2 runners on for the Copperheads, and that's what Bam Thomas will have to work with, as Bam Thomas has a ground out. Did score the only run of the day after he walked and then went around and scored off of an error and then struck out in the 6th.
Ratliff able to work that count and get on base. So now tying run is at the plate for Bam Thomas, who shows bunt.
And takes the bunt for, takes it for strike number 1. Copperheads have had their fair share of hits today, 6 of them, to the 11 of the Joes. And when you look at those hit numbers, you're surprised to see the score is so low.
Lots of runners left on base this game for both teams.
So the 1-1 will be on its way to Bam Thomas, still showing bunt. Now takes it in for strike number 2, and he'll have to swing.
Takes away the bunt opportunity with 2 strikes now, so we'll see him unload that bat.
Bam Thomas does have a home run on the year. Was on the road against the Richmond Jazz in a 10-6 victory for the Copperheads. Pitch is down low, so the count is 2-2. In the top of the 8th inning, the score reads the same as the jersey number of Bam Thomas, 1-4. Favor the Joes. 2-2 pitch, down low, skips across the ground. Ulrich, whenever it seems like the ball gets past him, he almost does a little move at wherever the batter is, almost like comes at him.
Has that shimmy move, and then the same raising up his shoulders to create almost a ceiling, his shoulders and his upper part of his chest, to stop that ball from bouncing over him. Something we see with Ulrich and Steidel, a lot of these catchers.
Payoff pitch is on the way, and it looked like it was fouled hard down the first base line. So we'll do it again at 3-2 as the beautiful day here in Hamilton is now starting to turn into a beautiful evening. Copperheads down 4-1, trying to make this evening even better. Swing and miss as Bam Thomas goes down. Hendrickson got him swinging. So that's one down in the inning, but nevertheless, 2 runners are still on for the Copperheads. But if you're the Copperheads, you're starting to run out of time, and they need to get runs. Just plain and simple as that, Tim.
Can't afford to leave another couple guys on base. Maverick Stallings, a guy that knows how to get on base. Josh Steidel, another one of those guys that can open this game up with just one swing of the bat. So definitely have to get at least 1 or 2 back here in this 8th inning.
Maverick Stallings up to the plate against Shay Hendrickson with 2 runners on, 1 out in the 8th inning. Takes the first pitch upstairs just above the zone for ball number 1 for Maverick Stallings, who has a ground out, a fly out, and another ground out. Looking for hit number 1 for one of the newest members of this Copperhead squad. Gunnar Aldridge with a big leadoff at second as we see the 1-0 pitch come in for another ball, as that one was low, bouncing off against the ground. Kind of like a dribbling basketball between the glove and the ground. Count is 2-0. As you can see the crowd making some noise. Sure you guys can hear it as they're stomping on the bleachers, trying to get in the head of Maverick Stallings. Hendrickson delivers the pitch in there for strike number 1. So it's a 2-1 count now for Maverick Stallings. For the Copperheads, they need to make something happen. They need to get some runs driven in. They still have another chance to bat in the 9th inning, but the Joes are putting the pressure on as it's a big swing, and it's going to go high up in the air for a fly ball right to Riley Hawthorne. Makes the catch, 2 down.
Unfortunately, that ball not far enough out into the outfield to result in the runners advancing. So Josh Steidel will have to put a ball in play here with 2 outs.
Josh Steidel has a fly out, a single, and a ground out on the day. So sitting at 1 for 3 for 1-5. Takes the first pitch in for a strike from Shay Hendrickson. Gunnar Aldridge and Kyle Ratliff both on. Aldridge kind of doing some shuffling, thinking about stealing, and Steidel gets a little bit of a good contact on the ball, but it's fouled out towards the dugout. So it'll be 0-2. 2 outs in the inning. Shay Hendrickson trying to get the inning over with for the Joes. Steidel trying to keep it alive for the Copperheads. 0-2. And they got Steidel, and Steidel is not happy after that as Hendrickson delivered a great pitch in a big moment. Copperheads will have one more chance to bat in the 9th inning, but for now they're going to have to play some good defense, and they're going to need some good pitching to keep the score at 4-1. You listen to Southern Ohio Baseball on YouTube. It's the bottom of the 8th inning here at Foundation Field, home of the Hamilton Joes, just 20 minutes north of Cincinnati, on a beautiful evening as we're getting into late June. Going to be in July very soon, a really beautiful time of summer, as summer is still young, but you're also into the heat of it. Copperheads down 1-4 against the Hamilton Joes, and the Joes are back up to bat, looking to pad their lead. For the Copperheads, Adam Bieri, who's on the mound, is looking to shut the door here, keep the score at 4-1, and give the Copperheads a shot to be able to get back in the game. We'd like to apologize on the stream with the comment section. We are working on my computer this time and working with no scoreboards or anything like that as we're trying to keep our computers running in this heat. Also, some of the bots and some of the other things can get on the streams, and we apologize for that, and we're working on it and trying to limit that away from getting out there as we try to keep everything family friendly here with the Copperheads. And the first batter is going to be Samuel Lowe, followed by Walker Bridges, Tristan Melvin. Very dangerous 6, 7, 8 batters for the Hamilton Joes, who have 11 hits on the day. Samuel Lowe, big swing. Adam Bieri picks up the strike. Bieri steps, and it's going to be a fly ball, and it's going into foul territory. Mitch Class on the first base side, makes the catch. A little bit out of your guys' vision, but Mitch Class did a good job shuffling it from his first base position. So that's out number 1. Samuel Lowe goes down, and that'll bring on Walker Bridges, who has a triple and a ground out and a fly out. That triple started off an emphatic inning, at least emphatic in terms of a low-scoring affair like this one, and open up the game a little bit for the Joes as he fouls it out backwards. Might go over the net, might be incoming over to this side, and don't know where the ball is. We got a little bit of protection from the tent, so it's going to be an 0-1 count. Adam Bieri sets, delivers the pitch too low. Ball 1. It's funny whenever I say the phrase too low, given that there is a player whose last name is Lowe on the Joes, and there's a swing and a miss from the batter, Walker Bridges. So we see 2 strikes, 1 ball, 1 out, and it's going to be a grounder out to Aldridge. Aldridge dives and can't make the play, and it's going to be a base hit. Walker Bridges singles to center field. And Walker Bridges continues his hot streak now, as that's 2 hits in a row. And that'll bring on Tristan Melvin, another guy who hit a triple today. He has a single, a triple, and another single. So rocking that 3 for 3 total. But the Copperheads were able to catch him stealing the last time around. First pitch to Melvin on its way, in for a strike. No doubt about that one. Josh Steil back at the catcher position after playing first base yesterday. Looked pretty good at first base. Good to know that he can be a Swiss Army knife out there on the defensive side and fielding. And the second pitch is inside for another strike. So it's an 0-2 count for Tristan Melvin of the Hamilton Joes. Tristan Melvin from Coker College. 0-2, runner goes. Steidl's going to make the throw to Aldridge. Not in time. This time the Joes are able to steal. They keep going and trying to make those steals. They were 1 for 3 before that. Now they're 2 for 4.
Great job by Stallings to be there to back up the throw, as that one got a little bit away from Aldridge. Both of these guys seem to really be in sync. But the Hamilton Joes have been taking advantage of finding those gaps here today.
1-2 on its way, swung on and missed, and Bieri picks up a strikeout. So that's 2 down in the inning. Copperheads, if they want to win this game, I'm pretty confident that they need to hold the Joes to 4 runs, and this is their shot to do it. It's behind the arm of Adam Bieri.
Bieri got his second strikeout there. Keeping that ball to strike ratio pretty good. 17 strikes to just 7 balls.
So that'll bring on the 9th batter, Casey Fink, who has a walk, strikeout, and a single to his name on the day. First pitch is in, and it's delivered right on the money in the strike zone for strike number 1.
Bieri's still working that count here with 2 outs. Keeping them in this team with a runner threatening at second base.
Hamilton Joes up 4-1 in this game, thanks to a 3-run 7th inning, which has been the difference in the game. They have 12 hits to the Copperhead 6. And when you look at the hit numbers, like I said earlier, I think it'd be a higher scoring game, but pitchers have done a great job of getting timely strikeouts. And we see the 0-1 to 1-0, and it's in for another strike as Casey Fink took the strike looking there.
Bieri continuing to pound and pound and pound that zone. Doing a really good job here coming in relief of Cody Williams.
Can he do it one more time? The runner goes. Will they make a throw long? And they got him. They catch another runner trying to steal. Walker Bridges, who was pretty confident after stealing that first one, tried to do it again, but the Copperheads shut the door, and they allow themselves an opportunity to be able to put some runs up and try to take the lead in the 9th inning. It's put up or shut up time coming up when we go to the top of the 9th. You're listening to Southern Ohio Baseball on YouTube. It's the top of the 9th inning, and for the Copperheads, they need to put up at least 3 runs or this game will be in the books. As they're on the road against the Hamilton Joes. Joes are up 4-1, and they're going to put the game in the hands of Brock Narkter, the new pitcher who's come in. Also out of Wright State University, so it's been pairs of college teammates who have been pitching today. First, you saw it from the University of Southern Indiana bunch, and now you see it from a pair of people from Wright State. He's from Fairborn, so not too far up in the Dayton area, and delivers the pitch, the 1-0 to Mitch Class, is out of the zone there, so it's ball number 2. A very picturesque evening. As this game has gone by pretty quick. We're only 9:15 in the 9th inning, as there's a big hit from Class, but it goes into right to second base, and they make the play, so that's 1 down. 2 more outs left for the Copperheads to try to make something happen. Mitch Class goes down on the ground out.
Great job by Riley Hawthorne on the defensive adjustment there. Saw that ball was coming over, took a couple steps back out into the outfield grass, shuffled over to make the play on that.
Narkter delivers to Ortiz, who hits it right against the dugout for strike number 1 on the foul ball. And now it's chopped, fouled this time, so it's strike number 2 to Diego Ortiz, who has a strikeout, a ground out, and a hit by pitch on the evening. With where the camera's placed, you guys can see how beautiful the clouds are set up there. As it'll be an 0-2 count to Diego Ortiz, potentially his biggest at-bat of the season. Narkter sets, delivers the pitch way up high, almost towards the face of Ortiz. And it'll be 1-2. Obviously no malicious intent there.
I believe it's scary for Ortiz, who took one off the elbow area his last at-bat.
And they caught Ortiz trying to swing there. So that's 2 down. And the Copperheads, their fate will rest now on Jordan Long. So Jordan Long has a single, a play where he did hit. It would have been a double, but he kept trying to go to third and was caught, and then has a fly out to the infield. So Copperheads on their last leg, top of the 9th inning, down 4-1, and that's strike number 1 to Jordan Long. Copperheads, they had a lead 1-0 at one point in the game, back in the 4th inning. And then it's been all Joe since then. Chopper over to shortstop Lowe. Lowe makes the throw to Wimmers. And the Hamilton Joes are victorious over our Southern Ohio Copperheads, 4-1. As the Copperheads, they fought hard here on the road. It was a valiant effort, especially from Cody Williams at pitcher. But it was not enough to stave off the Hamilton Joes. But Tim, with the pitching today, the Copperheads holding a really talented team like the Hamilton Joes to only 4 runs. That's pretty impressive.
It is. Defense played really well. Only that one error did give up the 12 hits. As for the pitchers, I mean, Cody Williams came in, 7 strikeouts, only 1 walk. Adam Bieri, 2 strikeouts, no walks. So only 1 walk today only 1 walk as a team today for the Copperheads, and really just trying to continue to make adjustments and find out what works best for them as far as how they go out and prepare for games, what kind of in-game adjustments they have to make. We saw the Hamilton Joes today make phenomenal in-game adjustments, adjusting to noticing where hitters would hit to, let's say, the right or the left side of where they're playing on the field. And we saw a prime example on that ball to Riley Hawthorne.
Yeah, and the Copperheads, again, they fought. They did a great game. And, again, Hamilton Joes, they were at the top of the division. They're a tough team. And they do still have 1 win over the Joes this year. And the series, it's now 2-1 to favor of the Joes for the year. And tiebreakers are going to be huge as they have 5 matchups against Hamilton. If they want to make the playoffs, I predict that they need to win 3 of these, Tim. So they're going to have to win those last 2. They'll have one of them at home coming up here in a couple of days. So we'll see if the Copperheads can be able to do that one. But the Copperheads, one of the things that stands out on the schedule, or stands out on the scoreboard, rather, 12 hits by the Joes, 6 hits by the Copperheads. 6 hits, not bad output overall, but 12 hits, that's really tough to be able to stave off. And when you look at that, you'd think they might have given up 10 runs, 9 runs, but only 4 runs to show for it. So really good, opportune pitching, I'd say.
Yeah, defense stepped up really today, but the next step, I think, for this team as they move forward, trying to continue to put these wins together, they've got to be more consistent on the bases. We saw them able to work walks and get guys on base, but weren't and then able to drive those guys home. Left a lot of guys on base today. Sedric, something they're going to have to improve on if they want to start putting these runs together.
Yep, I agree. Also, we've seen a lot of pickoffs this time as well, where people were picked off at third or picked off at home plate. So the Copperheads will look to respond. They'll be playing again on Sunday against a team that's had their number, the Cincinnati Steam. So the Copperheads will look to try to beat the Steam for the first time this year. But we'll have some post-game content coming to you guys with some interviews with Coach Lanning and see what his reflections are on this Copperheads 1-4 loss against the Hamilton Joes.
Back here with Copperheads outfielder Kyle Ratliff. Kyle, the bats have kind of gone cold in the last couple of games. What's something mentally you guys are doing to try and get back in the groove of things?
Yeah, well, baseball's a game of failure. It's a game of adjustments, and it's tough. It's tough going out here and seeing, coming from your college season and seeing a little bit harder pitching in places, and sometimes seeing a little better pitching. Then you come out here, and it's just adversity, and it's something different, something hard to adjust to, and so. Kind of just being mentally tough and being able to, go with the failure. You're going to fail, and be able to just learn from that failure instead of taking it as, something down on your game or whatever. Just being able to learn from it and adjust to it next, at bat. So.
On the flip side of that, this team as a whole really started to kind of come together, rally around each other, the pitching, limiting those defensive errors. So what do you think has been the biggest thing in these last couple of games to start to turn things around after that tough week last week?
Yeah, it's definitely, we're all guys from different places from the country. So getting to know each other better is definitely going to help with that. Being able to, live with each other and hang out outside of baseball, it's definitely a benefit to that. So we're going to play well together over time, and it's just going to take time. It's a process. It's hard, but at the end of the day, I think we'll figure it out really quick.
Absolutely, Sedric.
Perfect. So whether win or lose, do you have a process that you go through when reflecting on what happened the game before, especially since you guys got some off days coming up?
Yeah.
Do you kind of have a process of reflecting on stuff?
Absolutely. Especially with these broadcasts, it's a benefit to be able to see what you did wrong and learn from that within the next game. So it is a benefit to playing every day, so you can go back and you can make those adjustments quick rather than reflecting on them and thinking about them days over days until your next at bat. So being able to play every single day, it helps with that. And so you go in here, you see what you do wrong, you watch video. We have access to the cages, which is great, so you can go and make that adjustment late at night if you really want to, and just be ready to come ready to play the next day.
You guys get a much-needed off day tomorrow, game
Absolutely.
on Sunday, and then a bit of a shorter week next week, so should be rested up for that doubleheader on
Absolutely.
Wednesday. Thanks, Kyle.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Have starting pitcher Cody Williams join us now. How you doing, Cody?
Good, how are you?
Oh, not too bad. 6 1/3 today, 10 hits, 3 earned, 7 strikeouts, and only 1 walk. How'd you feel on the mound today?
Felt good. Went out there pounding the strike zone through strikes. That's all you can do. Kept hitters off balance.
What's something you kind of noticed out on the mound when they started to get to you later? Just kind of throwing the same kind of pitches, or?
Well, obviously, as the game goes on, you get tired. You start to lose a little bit of velo. You're not going to be the same in the first inning as you are in the seventh.
Yeah.
So then it kind of comes to just executing pitches more. First inning, it's kind of go out there, rip it, blow it by them, get them out with just power stuff. And then once you see them for about the third or fourth time through the lineup, then you start, kind of pitching backwards, mixing it up, more off speed, breaking balls, change ups.
What has pitched or what has clicked for the pitching staff in this last couple of days? We've seen solid starts from Colin Ryan, David Walter, and then now you today. What's kind of clicked in these last couple of days?
Just really getting ahead. Get ahead early, stay ahead. It's a lot harder to hit 1-2 compared to 2-1. A 1-1 pitch is the biggest pitch in the game. So we were getting ahead a lot better. Not as many base on balls, not free passes. If you make them earn it, it's a lot harder.
Sedric?
Gotcha. Cody, you showed some really great growth from your first game against the Settlers compared to this game as well. What are some of the ways that you've seen yourself grow? What are some of the things that you practiced that you got to see come into play today?
Personally for me, it's all a process. I don't care about the result. I care about the result, but in the moment, you go out there, you just give everything you have. You just go to war, right? And then, I know I work my butt off every single day. Every single day I'm doing everything I can to get better. So it's not, I take pride in the process more than I do the result. So I knew after the first outing, I knew that wasn't going to define me, right? So you just keep going. Every day you just get better. That's all you can do.
Absolutely. It has been a trend with all the pitchers on this staff this year, so rest up and
yes, sir.
Look forward to your next start. Thanks,
Thank
Cody.
you. Thank y'all. Thank you, Cedric.
Now, close things out here with Copperheads head coach TJ Lanning. Coach, another tough one today, but we did see some things start to come together again, and as we've heard from a couple of the guys today, it is a process.
Yes, no, it definitely is a process. You know, we saw a lot of good things out of Cody today. I think his last start, or the start before, was against the Joes, and I think he only went 3 innings and gave up 6 hits and like 5 runs. So, I mean, it was very, very good to see what Cody actually went out there and did today. You know, it was kind of like a redemption game for the man, and he did a phenomenal job. I mean, he went out there, Cade, what was it, 10 batters he had or something like that. It was awesome to see. He pounded the zone and did what he needed to do to get a win. Unfortunately, we just couldn't execute now. We got to execute from the batting side of things. You know, our defense is still there. It's improving. We only had 1 error today, and I wouldn't really count that as an error, but, you know, yeah, I think we're doing everything right now. We just got to execute and come up with timely hitting and get bunts down and stuff like that.
What's something your guys have kind of been talking about to try and maybe switch some things up mentally to try and get those bats hot? Sedric and I were talking after the game. The beginning of the season, those bats were on fire, but the pitching wasn't quite there. Now the pitching has started to heat back up, and the bats have kind of cooled back off.
Yeah, you know, I mean, we're 13, 14, 15 games out into it now. You know, the bats can only stay hot for so long until guys start going into slumps. You know, it's a long summer, and playing out here in 97-degree weather every day is not fun to go out there and try and hit baseballs in and play and swing every day and get 5 at-bats a game. So I think the guys, they've been trying to do is get the bats hot by throwing them around the dugout, making little campfires and trying to get them heated up and all that good stuff. But they're having fun still. That's all that matters.
That's good to hear. Sedric?
Yeah, so, Coach, you have 3 out of your next 4 days as off days. Usually when the team is, like, doing things, is it something that you're usually going to lead? Or do you have the team kind of have their leaders on the team kind of organize different things to be able to keep them in the mix going into these off days?
Yeah, going into these off days, we got Swim with Snakes coming up tomorrow. So after we got 2 groups going with that, and during our off day, we're going to go get some hitting in, we're going to go get some pitching work in, and all that good stuff, and we're going to keep continuing to grow on the defense side as well. So that stuff doesn't start until 5 o'clock tomorrow. So we're going to be at the field beforehand. So that's what we're going to end up doing, just getting some extra work in.
Copperheads are back at home on Sunday. They'll take on the Cincinnati Steam. A couple days off. Then you've got that doubleheader. I believe it's on Wednesday.
Against Scouts.
Yep. So we look forward to that. Coach,
awesome.
Thanks for your time.
Tim, thank you so much.
Give me one.
All right, so the Copperheads fell today 4-1 to the Hamilton Joes, and we'll go take it back to our face right here as we'll close off the stream. Tim, would you like to read off the standings right now where the Copperheads are at the new record of 5-9?
Yeah, so the Hamilton Joes get their 10th win of the season, first team in the league to reach that 10-win mark at 10-5. They sit in first place. Grand Lake Mariners and the Licking County Settlers at 8-7, tied for second. The Richmond Jazz 8-8 sit in third. Steam at 7-8 sit in fourth. The Xenia Scouts, after getting a win tonight over the Licking County Settlers, at 5-7, and the Southern Ohio Copperheads fall to 5-9, last place in the GLSCL. Not all bad things, though. This team, as we've talked about, has opportunities for upward mobility. And quite frankly, the Hamilton Joes have shown they're one of the best teams in the league this part of the season.
It is, and it's a great thing. The Copperheads have already stolen one game against the Hamilton Joes, winning 7-4 back on the second day of the season in that second game. But the Copperheads definitely have some work to do going forward. They'll be able to get back into the action in Sunday's game as they'll play the Steam. There are some stormy skies that are on the way for that day, so we will have updates on Twitter on whether that game will stay on Sunday or if it might be moved over to either Monday or Tuesday. But once again, the final score of today's game was Copperheads 1, Hamilton Joes 4. For Sedric Granger and Tim Hanna, thank you for joining us, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Take care.